designed to explain diversity on a much smaller level. This is also where the concept of amnesia started to become an appealing idea. But why? Kind of reminds me of the advanced games we have today, the video games that my brother plays, compared to the stuff I had when the video games first started coming out. Super Mario Brothers and Donkey Kong and Pac-Man. Well, those aren't definitely during my time, but those weren't during my time, but they were the basic laying out of the idea. I had one in 64, but still, the graphics compared to Final Fantasy or it's just really, and now interactive. It's just This is also where the concept of amnesia started to become an appealing idea. But why? I am going to have to go further back here. What I am about to share, some people may not agree with. It might not be their cup of tea. Or maybe they prefer coffee. But that is fine. I am not asking you to agree with it. I am just contributing to your information and memory cups. I was just thinking, what is the best? I'm keeping that. I was just thinking, what is the best way I can explain to people or give them an idea of how this started? Pepper in my nose. I want to find the best tools to help people expand and provide them with reliable stepping stones that will help them access deep memories and stored inside their atoms, their star dust accumulation of dreams of generations of this world and others. This is what I am going to call soul celestial archaeology. Try saying that 10 times fast. Soul celestial archaeology, soul celestial archaeology, soul celestial archaeology, soul celestial archaeology. I try. I also wrote some poems to help explain, but this came from a dream I had back when I was a young grasshopper. Just imagine for a minute that you are God, and you know everything and can do everything. Think what that might be like. How does one grow beyond that? Like any master artist who wishes to challenge themselves to top themselves, an idea is like a birth. It can split itself into two and bring something out anew. Oh my, I'm in a rhyming mood, I see. I saw as they played around that the universe is playing a very distinct game of hide and seek and peekaboo. When they found each other, they merged back with each other. Then this is where the excitement of this idea creator kept splitting itself into more bits, this time 4 parts, and then merged back into one, even though it was an illusion. We are always one, though. Kids will tell you it sure is fun and highly educational to play pretend. In Matthew 18:3 it says, I tell you the truth, unless you change and become like little children, you will never enter the kingdom of heaven. As it says in my poem, You Decide. You are God. You are given your own world. Anything goes. How will it be to live there? You make all the rules. If you choose to have peace, how will you create that? Or what would it look like to you? What would you be by yourself? Or would you choose? Would you be by yourself, or would you choose to break yourself into millions of pieces so you can have someone to play with, friends to laugh with, enemies to keep it interesting, and you ever growing? The creator is a romantic and loves the romance genre laced with adventure marinated in humor. Here is where I discuss the birth of the universe, also known as the heavens. In Genesis 1:1, it says, In the beginning God created the heavens and earth. Heavens came first. What was that like? I seem to remember that there was a planet that had just one kind of being, one kind of animal, plant, etc. There was no diversity at this time, and beings were not growing. Well, actually, they were stagnated, Sure, some were advanced technology-wise, but they were lacking in other areas, so they could not move forward. So the idea was proposed that the beings on these worlds should be introduced and see how they interact with one another. This plan did not work. This was their first encounter with different races, and it was hard for them to relate to or understand each other. This was tried on various other worlds over and over, like Venus, Mars, and the former planet Moldak, which is now an asteroid belt. Each world also represented a characteristic that tried to dominate one over the other. The Illuminati can be thought of as a big brother who does not want to share his room with his siblings, so he makes life miserable for them until either he gets his own room or his parents find another place for his siblings to go. But here's another example. Greek myth gods are said to be immortal. Each one represents a certain archetype characteristic, such as wisdom, war, etc. These gods are alive today in each of us. We possess these characteristics and are learning to balance them so as not to have one dominate the other. This is how all the beliefs can complement each other rather than dominate over the others. Or even note how they're in symbols. There's a symbol of a dragon guarding a pearl. Pearl is a representative of Aphrodite, of love, beauty. That this dragon seems to be representing if you slay the dragon or if you overcome the dragon, then you will have this understanding of Venus, this possession of this pearl that you have within yourself, you will come to understand it as well. Alchemy too. Let's see, where are we? The problem might be because the word God is used. It gets people in a huff. But this word can be used as an actual being or an archetype expression of a branch of creation. Anastasia of the Ringing Cedar books also adds a new dimension to the hologram puzzle with her book. So anyway, with this dilemma, the idea of Earth came about, a new place where the Creator would have everything it has ever created in one place. Noah's Ark comes to mind here, but not as a boat with two of each physical animals, but as a beam ship with DNA samples of each animal, plant, even beings brought to the Earth. Something similar to this is in an animated movie called Titan AE. What's really interesting about this movie as well is that the villains are just pure energy, and they're attacking the human race, not because of something they did, but of what they will become, what they can become, and they're threatened by that, which I find really interesting. This is why there are certain plants or animals found in the world that only grow or live in a certain part of the world. This was so it could best emulate their home world. As for the plan to help people get along, well, you know, when people fight, we get the idea to lock them in a room and say, "You're not coming out until you learn to get along." This is very similar to what was done on Earth. This was to help us find ourselves in each other. Earth seems so small, like a hologram cut into tiny pieces, and the smallest piece still contained the whole universe of universes in it. This was a great way to experience the many and the one. This is the first time that such a thing had been done before. This is why Earth is such a celebrity planet, as some stay to watch the unfolding of this concept for God's children by God's children. It is like a kid's play they come up with on their own at school, so their parents can come and watch. Many could not fathom living like that, to leave their peaceful, heavenly, but dull homes to experience duality and diversity without memory. They said to their friends, "Okay, you can go, but I will just stay back and watch and see how it goes for you, and then maybe I will consider it." When they saw the difficulties many souls were having on Earth, there were specialists called from all over the universe to come in and help. A call for volunteers to hold a certain frequency within them too would help with the shift. This brings me back to the other world that I was talking about earlier, that